The $12,000 Valentino gown hung in her closet like an accusation. Naima stood before it, fingers trembling as they traced the blood-red silk, wondering when getting dressed for a charity gala had become an act of war. 21 days. That's how long it had been since her husband looked her in the eyes. 21 days since he'd slept in their bed. 21 days since he'd spoken her name with anything other than polite distance reserved for strangers. She pulled the dress from the hanger, the fabric whispering against her dark skin. Tonight, she would attend the Seoul Children's Foundation Gala alone again, because Kang Dohyun had made it clear through his assistant that he would be working late. His assistant. Not even a text message. Naima's reflection stared back, a tall Nigerian woman with natural hair falling past her shoulders, warm brown skin glowing against red silk, and eyes holding 3 weeks of unshed tears. She looked beautiful. She felt invisible. What Naima didn't know was that in 45 minutes, everything would shatter. The careful distance Dohyun had constructed would collapse. Because he was about to see her in that dress. And the control he'd maintained for 3 weeks was about to fail spectacularly. She descended the spiral staircase, heels clicking against Italian marble. Then she saw him. Dohyun stood in the foyer in a charcoal Tom Ford suit, clearly leaving. His dark hair styled back, revealing sharp aristocratic features that made him one of Seoul's most photographed businessmen and most dangerous underground power brokers. When his eyes lifted and landed on her, for the first time in 21 days, he actually looked at her. The air between them froze. His gaze traveled from her face, down the crimson dress hugging every curve, to the slit revealing her leg, then back to her eyes. Something hot and desperate flickered before he tried to smother it. "You're going out," he said, voice flat but with a razor's edge beneath. "The gala. Your assistant said you'd be working late." "Did he?" "I assumed you wouldn't want to attend with me anyway, given you've barely acknowledged my existence for 3 weeks. A muscle jumped in his jaw. "Naima. Don't say my name like that after weeks of silence. Not after treating me like a stranger in your house. This is your house. Everything I have is yours. Except you." The words hung between them like shattered glass. "Where exactly are you going dressed like that?" His voice dropped an octave, soft and lethal. "I told you. The gala. Alone. You made that clear through your assistant." "That dress," he stopped, hands flexing like he was physically restraining himself. "That's not a dress you wear to be alone, Naima. No. It's a dress I wear to feel like a human being instead of a ghost in my own marriage. To remind myself I exist, since my husband apparently forgot." "I didn't forget. I couldn't forget if I tried." "Then why? Why have you been treating me like I don't exist?" "Because if I spoke to you," he cut himself off, turning away. "Go to your gala, Naima." "Our gala." I said go. The dismissal cracked something in her chest. "Fine. I'll smile for cameras and answer questions about where my husband is. Again. I'll pretend I don't notice the pity. I'll stand there feeling absolutely nothing, because that's what I've become good at lately." She moved toward the door, but his voice stopped her. "That dress doesn't leave this house." Naima turned slowly. "Excuse me. You heard me. That dress isn't leaving this house. And neither are you. You don't get to." "I don't." He crossed to her in 3 strides, stopping close enough that she could smell cedar and something darker. "You're my wife, Naima. Mine. And I will be damned if I let you walk out looking like that, going to a room full of men who what? Who might actually see me? Who might treat me like I exist?" His hand shot out, gripping the banister beside her head, caging her in. "You want to be seen? You want my attention? You have it. You've had it every single day for 3 weeks. Funny way of showing it. You have no idea what it's cost me to stay away from you." And Naima realized she was about to find out exactly what had been lurking beneath the silence. Before we dive deeper, subscribe and turn on notifications. This confrontation is about to get intense. But to understand how we got here, we need to go back. 18 months ago, Naima Okafor arrived in Seoul with 2 suitcases, a nursing degree from Johns Hopkins, and a carefully locked heart after her last relationship imploded in Baltimore. She took a position at Seoul National University Hospital, specializing in post-surgical care. For 6 months, she lived quietly, working long shifts, exploring the city, learning Korean, slowly becoming herself again. Then came the night that changed everything. The emergency call at 2:47 a.m. Gunshot wound, VIP patient, absolute discretion required. The man on the table was unconscious, designer suit cut away revealing a shoulder wound. Young, early 30s, with magazine cover features. Even bleeding, he radiated power. Kang Dohyun, the surgeon muttered. "Do your job, keep him alive, forget you were here." 3 hours after surgery, his dark eyes snapped open, immediately assessing threats. His gaze landed on Naima. "You're not Korean," he said in perfect English. "Very observant for someone who just got shot," she replied, not looking up. "Nigerian. Does it matter?" "No. But I'm curious." "Curiosity got you on this table, I'm guessing." Almost a smile. "You have no idea who I am. I know you're important enough that I'm supposed to pretend this never happened. Beyond that, I don't care. My job is keeping you alive. Your identity is irrelevant." Naima, he read from her badge, pronunciation perfect. It means tranquil in Arabic. Despite herself, impressed. "You speak Arabic?" "6 languages. Useful in my line of work." "Which is?" "Also irrelevant," he said, throwing her words back with that almost smile. "You should rest. Will you be here when I wake up?" "I'm on shift until morning." "Good. Don't leave." Not a command. A request. Almost a plea. Against every instinct, she stayed. Dohyun was supposed to discharge after 3 days. He stayed 7. Complications, everyone said. Knowing the truth, Kang Dohyun was staying for the Nigerian nurse who treated him like a man instead of a weapon. Their conversation started professional, gradually shifted deeper. He asked about Baltimore. She deflected, asked about Seoul. He told her about hidden gardens, secret restaurants. She told him about her mother's jollof rice. "I could have my chef learn to make it," he offered. "Your chef?" "Of course you have a chef. I have many things. None matter as much as they should. Money doesn't buy happiness." "No. But it could buy you dinner. When I'm discharged." She hesitated. Patient. Clearly illegal activities. Korean elite versus foreign nurse. Every reason said no. One dinner. Some were quiet. His smile was devastating. Real. One dinner became 2. 2 became 3. Within 2 months, she was in a relationship with someone equal parts tender and terrifying. Dohyun never lied about what he was. Underground territory, gambling, protection, businesses straddling legal lines. Enemies. Blood on his hands. Darkness that sometimes made him withdraw. But also gentleness that broke her heart. Learning to cook Nigerian food. Holding her hand despite stares. Listening to her dreams of opening a clinic. "I'll fund it," he said casually. "I don't want your money." "I know. That's why I want to give it." He cupped her face. "You're the only person who wants nothing from me except my time." Me. 6 months after they met, he proposed at dawn over coffee. "Marry me. Not for wealth or status. Marry me because when I'm with you, I remember what it feels like to be human instead of a monster." "Yes," she whispered. They married 3 weeks later. Small, intimate, perfect. For 8 months, they were happy. She learned to navigate his 3 a.m. emergencies, security protocols, conversations that ended when she entered. He learned to come home, share space, let someone care without seeing weakness. They fought about his danger, her independence, his walls. But they always chose connection over distance. Until 3 weeks ago. It happened at a dinner party. Dohyun's business associate celebrating a merger. On her way back from the restroom, she ran into Park Min-jae, one of Dohyun's younger associates. "Can I ask something personal?" he said. She should have deflected. Instead, exhausted from navigating a world she didn't fully understand, she was honest. "Do you ever feel trapped? Being married to someone like him? Sometimes I feel like I'm in a beautiful cage. I forget what it's like to exist without guards, without wondering if everyone has ulterior motives." "Have you thought about what you'd do if you weren't married to him?" "I don't know. Full-time nursing. Open that clinic. Travel without security." She sighed. But that's fantasy. I love him. I chose this life. But if you could choose again, I'd still choose him. Even with the cage. He's worth it. What Naima didn't know, Dohyun had come looking for her. Arrived just in time to hear beautiful cage and if you could choose again. He didn't stay to hear she'd still choose him. He turned and walked away. By the next morning, he'd moved to the East Wing bedroom. By the second day, communicating through assistants. By week's end, Naima lived with a stranger wearing her husband's face. She tried. Knocked on his door, he was busy. Texted single-word responses. Waited up, he worked until she'd fallen asleep. 21 days of slow suffocation. 21 days wondering what she'd done wrong. 21 days disappearing in her own marriage. Until tonight. Until the red dress. Until she decided that if he'd ignore her, she'd remind herself she existed. But Dohyun, seeing his wife about to walk out that door, had reached his breaking point too. What it's cost you? Naima's voice rose. You have no idea what it's cost me. Waking alone. Eating alone. Existing like a ghost while my husband treats me like I'm invisible. His hand braced against the banister, body close enough she felt his heat. You think I haven't noticed? You think I haven't been aware of every single moment? Then why? Why are you doing this? His jaw clenched. I heard you, Naima. At the merger party. What you said to Min-jae. Her mind raced. The hallway conversation. Oh God. What exactly did you hear? Enough. That you feel trapped. That you wonder what life would be like if you weren't married to me. I'd choose you, Naima interrupted fiercely. That's what I said. Even with everything, I'd still choose you. Because you're worth it. Something flickered across his face. You said you felt caged. I said sometimes. Do you know what else I feel? Loved. Protected. Cherished. You heard what you expected and decided I wanted out. So you gave me distance. So much I'm drowning in it. I was trying to control fracturing. You deserve better than needing bodyguards to shop. Better than a husband who wakes you at 3 a.m. for territory disputes. Better than a man with blood on his hands. That's not your decision. You don't get to decide what I deserve. You don't get to punish us both because you're scared. I'm not scared. You're terrified. Terrified I'll leave. That I'll realize I made a mistake. So you left first. Created distance so it would hurt less when I inevitably walked away. Silence stretched, heavy with truth. You're not walking away tonight, Dohyun said, voice rough. Not in that dress. Not to a room full of men who will want. What? What will they want that you haven't wanted for 3 weeks? Everything. Savage. They'll want everything. You're my wife. Mine. I don't share. Then act like it. Act like you want me. Act like I exist, Dohyun, because I'm so tired of being invisible to the one person whose gaze I crave. Something snapped. His hand cupped her face, thumb tracing her cheekbone with devastating tenderness even as his eyes burned. You think I haven't wanted you? 3 weeks in that cold bed, knowing you're down the hall and felt anything other than desperate. You hid it well, she whispered, leaning into his touch. I had to. If I touched you, I'd never let go. If I looked too long, you'd see everything, the jealousy, the possessiveness, the terror of losing you. You'd see where you're concerned. I'm barely civilized. His thumb brushed her lower lip. She shivered. I'm seeing it now. Then you understand why that dress doesn't leave this house. Why I can't let you walk into that gala. Why the thought of someone else's eyes on you makes me want to burn the city down. That's not protection. That's possession. I know. I should be civilized and secure. But when it comes to you, I'm selfish. Unreasonable. Completely insane. Heat pooled low in her belly. 3 weeks you stayed away. Don't tell me you're insane about me when you can go that long without touching me. You want to know what 3 weeks felt like? His hand slid to her throat, just resting, feeling her pulse race. Every morning I woke hard and aching. Every night I stood outside your door fighting not to walk in and claim what's mine. Every time you passed me, I memorized you. Then why? Because I heard you say trapped, and I thought if I gave you space, you'd realize you were happier without the cage. I was trying to give you freedom. I don't want freedom from you. I want partnership with you. There's a difference. His eyes searched hers. What does that mean? Stop protecting me from your world and start including me in it. Stop making decisions about what I can handle. Stop treating me like I'm fragile. I'm a trauma nurse. I've seen horrors. I'm not some delicate flower. You're everything good in my life. The only pure thing. I don't want to contaminate that. I'm not pure. I'm human. I chose you knowing exactly what you are. But I need you to choose me back. Not the idealized version. The real me. The woman who loves you and wants to stand beside you, not behind you. Long moment of raw vulnerability. If I choose you completely. No more distance. No more separate rooms. No more holding back. Good. I'm not civilized about you. When you're mine, you're mine. I won't apologize for being possessive. I'm not asking you to apologize. I'm asking you to communicate. If you're jealous, tell me. If you're scared, tell me. Don't ice me out. His hand tightened at her throat. I'm telling you now. I'm jealous of every man who looks at you. I'm scared every day you'll realize you could have someone better. And right now, seeing you in this dress, I'm barely holding back from carrying you upstairs and making sure you remember who you belong to. Heat flooded through her. Then stop holding back. Dohyun went still. Naima. I mean it. 3 weeks of sleeping alone, wondering if my marriage was over. If you want me, prove it. If I start, I won't stop. Not tonight. Maybe not tomorrow. I understand I miss my husband. I'm tired of being alone. If you don't kiss me in 30 seconds, I'm going to lose my mind. He moved. His mouth on hers, hot and desperate and consuming. Hand cupping her head, arm around her waist, lifting her off the ground. She gasped against his lips and he deepened the kiss with hunger bordering on violent. This wasn't controlled Dohyun. This was the raw man beneath. She loved it. Her hands fisted in his jacket, pulling him closer. She felt every hard line of his body, his thundering heartbeat matching hers. When they broke apart, breathing hard, his eyes were nearly black. The gala. Fuck the gala. He lifted her fully, and she wrapped her legs around his waist. I'll donate tomorrow. Tonight, you're mine. He carried her toward the stairs. I missed you, she whispered against his neck. His arms tightened. I'm sorry. God, Naima, I'm so sorry. I thought I was protecting you. Instead, I hurt you worse than anyone else could. Promise me something. Anything. Next time you're scared or jealous, talk to me first. No more silence. No more walls. I promise. No more walls. Just us. They reached the master bedroom. He set her down carefully. For a moment they just looked at each other. I love you, he said simply. I love you so much it terrifies me. You're the only person who's ever made me want to be better. Tears pricked her eyes. I love you too. Even when you're being an idiot who builds walls instead of bridges. Ghost of a smile. I'm working on that. Good. Because we're a team. Partners. Final message. You're easier to reach than he thinks. See you soon, Mrs. Kang. The phone slipped from trembling fingers. The bathroom door opened. Dohyun emerged, took one look at her face and crossed to her. What's wrong? She handed him the phone. His expression shifted to cold, absolute, deadly fury. How long? Her voice steadier than she felt. How long have you known someone was watching me? Jaw clenched. 3 weeks. Betrayal hit like a physical blow. You knew. This whole time, while you were pulling away, you knew and didn't tell me. I was protecting you. By lying? By letting me think our marriage was falling apart instead of trusting me with the truth. If you knew, you would have been scared. Before what? Before they got close enough to photograph us in our bedroom? How is that handling it? I tripled your security. Had my best people identifying the threat. Working on it every night. You were avoiding me. You should have told me. Voice cracking. We promised each other last night, no walls. And you were already keeping this? I was going to tell you today. I swear. His phone rang. He glanced at the screen, expression darkening. What? My head of security. He only calls if he answered. Talk to me. She watched him listen, jaw jump, hand curl into a fist. When? How many? Lock down the building. No one in or out. I'm coming down. He ended the call, and for the first time she saw fear in his eyes. The photos were sent from inside this building. Someone on my security team was compromised. Within minutes, their penthouse swarmed with armed men. Laptops appeared. Phones rang. Men spoke rapid Korean. Mrs. Kang, we need you in the secure room. No. Dohyun's voice cut through. She stays with me. Sir, protocol. I don't give a fuck about protocol. My wife stays where I can see her. Eyes met Naima's. Unless she wants the secure room. A choice. Partnership instead of commands. I stay with you, Naima said firmly. Relief flickered before he turned to his men. Talk to me about Lee Jae-won. Didn't report this morning. Apartment cleared out. Bank accounts emptied yesterday. He's in the wind. How long on my payroll? 8 months. Who vetted him? Heavy silence. I did, the security chief said quietly. The failure is mine. We'll discuss later. Right now, who's he working for and what do they want? Money, probably. No. Naima surprised herself. All eyes turned. It's not about money. What makes you say that? Dohyun asked, careful, listening. The photos. The messages. If they wanted money, they'd demand ransom. If they wanted to hurt you through me, they'd have already moved. This is psychological warfare. Trying to make you afraid, doubt your security, make you unstable, Dohyun finished, understanding dawning. Make me unstable. Who benefits? Long moment. Park Sung-go. The name hit like a bomb. The assemblyman, the security chief asked. Sir, accusing someone of his position is an accusation if it's true. 6 months ago, I refused to back his development project. Would have displaced 300 families, lined his pockets with billions. He threatened me. Said I'd regret opposing him. He's escalating, Naima said. Can't attack you directly, you're too powerful. But he can make you paranoid, distracted, vulnerable. Make you so focused on protecting me you're not protecting yourself. Dohyun looked at her with awe. That's exactly it. So, what do we do? We. Yes, we. You promised partnership, remember. He turned to his men. Give us the room. They filed out, leaving them alone. If we're doing this as partners, you need to understand. Park Sung-go isn't just corrupt. He's connected to organized crime, trafficking, laundering. People in police, government, courts. Going after him means war. Okay. Naima, this isn't a game. People could die. I know. But you're already in this war whether I'm aware or not. The only difference is whether I'm fighting beside you or sitting in the dark. I choose beside you. If anything happens to you, then we make sure nothing happens. To us. She stepped closer. You said you're not civilized when it comes to me. Well, I'm not delicate when it comes to you. I won't sit in a safe room while you face danger alone. That's not partnership. He cupped her face. You're sure? I'm terrified. But I'm also furious. He's been watching me for weeks. Violating my privacy, my safety, trying to use me as a weapon. He made this personal. Dark smile. Then let's make him regret it. An hour later, they sat planning with his inner circle. Park expects you to hide her, the security chief said. Pull her from public view, increase security, become predictable. So we do the opposite, Naima said. We go public. Dohyun's eyes sharpened. Explain. The gala I was supposed to attend. Rescheduled for tonight due to speaker delay. Park Sung-go is the keynote speaker. Understanding rippled. You want to walk into a room with him. Show him you're not afraid. More than that. Naima looked at Dohyun. We show him his plan failed. That instead of making you isolated, he brought us closer. We attend as a united front. Make him think his leverage is gone. And while he's focused on that, Dohyun continued, we gather evidence. Lee Jae-won didn't disappear without trace. He's getting paid. We find that money trail, we find proof. Risky. If Park feels cornered, he won't move in public, Dohyun said. Too many witnesses. He'll wait until we're vulnerable. Then we make sure we're never vulnerable, Naima said firmly. Dohyun studied her. You're sure? He sent photos of us in our bedroom. Violated the one place I should feel safe. I'm very sure. All right. Full security coverage at the gala. Eyes on Park and everyone in his orbit. If he breathes wrong, I want to know. Orders given. Plans made. As men dispersed, Dohyun pulled Naima aside. If at any point you feel unsafe, anything feels wrong, tell me immediately. I promise. But Dohyun? Same goes for you. No more protecting me from truth. We face this together, or not at all. Together, he agreed, sealing it with a kiss. That evening, Naima descended in a midnight blue dress, elegant and powerful. Hair swept up, diamond earrings glinting. She looked like what she was, wife of one of Seoul's most powerful men. Dohyun waited in a black tuxedo. When his eyes met hers, she saw pride, desire, partnership. Ready? Ready. The drive was tense. Their car surrounded by a motorcade, less subtle than usual, intentionally. A message, we know. We're ready. The Shilla Hotel's grand ballroom glittered with Seoul's elite. Cameras flashed as they entered, Naima's hand firmly in Dohyun's. Inside, a sea of designer gowns and expensive suits. And there, near the stage, stood Park Sung-go. Late 50s, distinguished silver hair, expensive suit. Laughing, playing charming politician. Then his eyes landed on them. Laughter died. Surprise flickered before he smoothed it into a pleasant smile and walked toward them. He's coming, Naima murmured. Good. We're happy, united, unshakable. We are. We're not pretending. Park reached them, hand extended. Kang Dohyun. What a surprise. I heard you weren't attending. Plans changed. Dohyun shook his hand, smile not reaching his eyes. Assemblyman Park, have you met my wife? I haven't had the pleasure. Park turned to Naima, eyes assessing. Mrs. Kang. Even more beautiful in person than in photographs. The emphasis on photographs was deliberate. Ice slid down her spine, but she kept her smile. Thank you. Though I wasn't aware you'd seen photographs of me. Oh, you'd be surprised what crosses my desk. Social media, news coverage, security footage. One sees all sorts of interesting images. Dohyun went rigid, but Naima spoke first. How fascinating you have time to browse such things, given your busy schedule. Though I suppose everyone has hobbies. Even invasive, criminal ones. Park's smile froze. My wife has a talent for directness, Dohyun said, voice dangerously soft. It's one of many things I love about her. Direct can be dangerous. Especially for those who don't understand Seoul's ecosystem. I understand perfectly, Naima replied. Bullies rely on fear and isolation. They target what they think are weak points and exploit them. She stepped closer, close enough he had to look up. But I'm not a weak point. I'm a partner. And you miscalculated badly. Genuine anger flashed in Park's eyes. Then Dohyun's phone buzzed. He glanced at it, expression shifting to victorious. Assemblyman, I think you'll want to step outside for this. Unless you'd prefer witnesses. I don't know what. Lee Jae-won just turned himself into my people. Apparently the money you paid wasn't enough to buy his silence. He's currently providing detailed testimony about who hired him, what he was paid to do, and the bank accounts. Accounts that trace back to your offshore holdings. Park's face went white. You have two options. 1. Walk away from me, my wife, my business permanently. Retire from politics quietly due to health reasons. Disappear. And option 2? I release everything Lee Jae-won told me to the press, police, and every government contact. Your career ends. Your freedom ends. Your life as you know it ends. Dohyun smiled, cold and sharp. Choose wisely. Park looked between them, Dohyun's implacable expression and Naima's unflinching gaze. This isn't over, he said quietly. Yes, Dohyun replied. It is. You just haven't accepted it yet. Park turned and walked away, posture rigid with fury. The moment he was gone, Naima exhaled shakily. You okay? Dohyun asked, hand at the small of her back. I just told off a criminal politician who's been stalking me. I'm fantastic. Terrified, but fantastic. You were incredible. Absolutely incredible. Did Lee Jae-won really turn himself in? 20 minutes ago. Apparently Park threatened his family to keep him quiet. That changed his priorities. Expression darkening. By tomorrow, Park will be in custody. The money trail is solid. He's finished. And we're safe. We're safe. Softer, I'm sorry. For all of this. For not telling you sooner. For thinking I could protect you by keeping you in the dark. Naima cupped his face. We're learning. Both of us. Partnership means trust, Naima said softly. They didn't stay long after the confrontation. Dohyun made the required donation, shook necessary hands, and they left together, her hand firmly in his. In the car, Naima finally felt the adrenaline crash. I can't believe I said those things to him, she whispered, hands trembling. Dohyun took them in his, warming them. You were magnificent. He expected a victim. He got a warrior. I was terrified. So was I. Every second you were in his line of sight, I was calculating exit routes. But you were right, showing fear would have given him power. Showing strength took it away. Is it really over? The immediate threat? Yes. Lee Jae-won's testimony is devastating. By tomorrow, Park will be arrested. The evidence is ironclad. And the photos? Deleted from every server, every device. My tech team made sure. They sat in silence, city lights blurring past. When we get home, we need to talk, Dohyun said. Really talk. About how this partnership works going forward. I know. No more secrets. Even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. Later, in their living room, Naima tucked her feet under her on the couch. Dohyun sat beside her, close, but not crowding. I need you to understand something, Naima started. I didn't come to Seoul looking for a fairy tale. I came for a fresh start, and what I found with you is real. Complicated, sometimes dangerous, but real. I know. I don't need you to make my life safe. I need you to make me part of your life, all of it. The business decisions, the threats, the complications. I can handle knowing. What I can't handle is being kept in the dark while you shoulder everything alone. Dohyun was quiet. My whole life, I was taught that showing vulnerability is weakness. That protecting people means keeping them separate from darkness. My father raised me to be a weapon, not a partner. I'm not asking you to stop being protective. I'm asking you to trust me to be strong enough to stand beside you instead of behind you. What if something happens to you because I let you too close? What if something happens because you kept me too far? Tonight proved distance doesn't equal safety. If I hadn't known about Park, if I'd been blindsided, I would have been vulnerable. But because you finally trusted me, I could stand with you. We were stronger together. He reached out, tucking a curl behind her ear. You're right. You're the only good thing in my life, Naima. The thought of my darkness touching you. I'm not pure. I'm human. And I chose you knowing exactly what darkness you carry. She took his hand, pressing it to her chest. I'm not asking you to change. I'm asking you to let me love all of who you are. How did I get so lucky? You got shot, ended up in a hospital, and annoyed a nurse until she fell in love with you. He laughed, surprised and genuine. Is that how you remember it? You asked me to stay. That first night. You asked me not to leave. I've been staying ever since. And I'm not going anywhere now. Dohyun pulled her into his arms. New rules then. Complete honesty. Shared decisions about security. You attend meetings when you want, understand my business fully, have access to everything. And you stop treating my independence like a threat. I can have coffee with friends without 6 bodyguards. Negotiable. How about 3 bodyguards? 2. And they stay out of sight. Deal. He pulled back. Anything else? Yes. I want to use my position, being your wife, having access to do good. The clinic I always dreamed about? I want to make it real. A place where people without money or insurance can get quality care. Pride shone in his eyes. How much do you need? I don't want your money. I want your support. Help me navigate bureaucracy, permits, connections. But the clinic will be mine, funded through grants, donations, my own work. Our money is your money. I know. But this needs to be something I build. Do you understand? He studied her, then nodded. I understand. And I'll help however you need, connections, advice, manpower. But it'll be your clinic, your vision. Thank you. Thank you for not giving up on us. For fighting for this marriage even when I made it impossible. That's what partnership means. We fight for each other, not against each other. 3 months later. Morning sun poured through bedroom windows. Naima felt Dohyun's lips brush her shoulder. Good morning, he murmured. What time is it? 7. You have that meeting with the hospital board at 9 about the clinic partnership. She smiled, eyes closed. You remembered. I remember everything about you. Nervous? Terrified? Excited? Both. She opened her eyes. What if they say no? Then we find another way. But they won't. Your proposal is brilliant, the need is obvious, and you have backing from every major medical professional in Seoul. He grinned. Plus, I may have made some calls. Dohyun. I didn't throw money or threaten anyone. I just mentioned to a few board members that my wife had an innovative proposal and they should listen with open minds. That's networking. She laughed. You're impossible. You love me anyway. I really do. Over 3 months, everything had changed. Park Sung-go was in prison, political career destroyed, criminal enterprises dismantled. The investigation uncovered layers of corruption far deeper than anticipated: trafficking, bribery, extortion. He would never see freedom. More importantly, Naima and Dohyun had rebuilt their marriage on genuine partnership. He'd opened his world completely. She attended strategy meetings when major decisions were made. Knew names of associates, understood territory disputes, was aware of threats before they materialized. It wasn't always comfortable. Aspects of his business troubled her morally. But he listened when she voiced concerns. Made changes when she suggested alternatives. Slowly shifted operations toward legitimate enterprises and away from the darkness he'd inherited. And she'd reclaimed her independence without sacrificing their connection. Still worked at the hospital 3 days a week, met friends for coffee, existed as her own person. But now with security that felt like care rather than control. The clinic proposal was her biggest project, a community health center in Itaewon, serving Seoul's immigrant population. 3 months researching, writing grants, meeting potential partners, building something entirely hers. Dohyun had kept his promise. Made introductions, offered advice, navigated bureaucracy, but never tried to take over or throw money at obstacles. A true partner. You're going to change lives today, he said, watching with admiration. Whether the board says yes or no, you're already changing lives. Mine especially. Smooth talker. It's true. You made me remember power can be used for more than control. That strength can build instead of destroy. I'm a better man because of you. You were always a good man. You just needed permission to show it. Well, you're very good at giving permission. She swatted his shoulder playfully, then grew serious. I couldn't have done this without you. The clinic, standing up to Park, rebuilding myself, I needed you. Your strength, your support, your belief in me. Partnership, he said simply. Partnership, she agreed. That evening, after the board meeting, they'd said yes enthusiastically, with multiple members volunteering for the advisory board. Naima came home to find rose petals leading from the elevator. She smiled, following the trail inside. Lights dimmed. Candles flickered. And there, in the foyer where they'd had their explosive confrontation, stood Dohyun. Beside him, on a dress form, hung the red Valentino gown. You kept it, Naima said softly. I kept it. He crossed to her, taking her hands. Do you remember what I said that night? That the dress wasn't leaving the house, and neither were you. I remember thinking you were ridiculously possessive. I was. I am. But I also remember what you said. That you wore it to feel seen. To feel like you existed. I remember. You never needed a dress for that, Naima. You exist so brilliantly, so completely, that you changed my entire world just by being in it. He reached behind the form and produced a garment bag. But I thought maybe you'd like to wear it properly this time. Not as armor or rebellion, but as celebration. Celebration of what? Your clinic being approved. 3 months of choosing each other every day. The fact that we survived our worst fight and came out stronger. The fact that I get to love you for the rest of my life. Tears pricked her eyes. You're really very good at this romance thing when you try. I had a good teacher. He gestured to their bedroom. Get dressed. I'm taking my wife to dinner. Just dinner. Dinner and dancing. And possibly a midnight walk through that garden you love. And definitely coming home to our bed, not separate rooms, not walls between us, just us. Naima took the dress, but turned back. Dohyun. Yes. That night, when you said the dress wasn't leaving the house, you were right. His eyebrows rose. I was. The dress didn't need to leave. I didn't need external validation or escape. I just needed my husband to see me, to choose me, to let me in. She crossed to him, standing on tiptoe to kiss him softly. Thank you for finally letting me in. Thank you for not giving up on me when I was too stupid to see what I had. We're both learning. We are. And we have the rest of our lives to keep learning together. 6 months later. The Okafor Kong Community Health Clinic opened on a bright Saturday in September. The ribbon cutting drew a crowd: city officials, medical professionals, community members, and surprisingly many people from Dohyun's world showing support. Naima stood at the entrance in a simple blue dress, hand in Dohyun's, and looked at what she'd built. A modern facility with multilingual staff. Sliding scale fees based on income. Specialist partnerships with major hospitals. Mental health services. Prenatal care. Everything she dreamed of and more. Ready? Dohyun asked. Ready. She cut the ribbon to applause, and the clinic opened its doors. The first patient was a young Nigerian woman, newly arrived in Seoul, 7 months pregnant and terrified. Limited Korean. No insurance. Naima took her hand and said in Yoruba, "You're safe here. We'll take care of you." The woman's relief was palpable. Later, as Naima showed Dohyun around, she found herself thinking about the journey that brought her here. A failed relationship in Baltimore. A move across the world. A chance meeting with a wounded man. A marriage that almost collapsed under silence and fear. And now this, partnership built on trust, a clinic serving her community, a life that felt full and purposeful and real. What are you thinking about? Dohyun asked. How far we've come. How different things could have been if we hadn't fought for this. Regrets? None. You. He pulled her close, right there in the clinic lobby. Not a single one. You're the best thing that ever happened to me, Naima Okafor Kong. Every mistake, every fight, every moment of fear, it was all worth it to end up here with you. Even the 3 weeks of silence? Especially those. Because they taught us what we couldn't lose. Each other. She rested her head on his chest, listening to his heartbeat. Around them, the clinic bustled, patients checking in, staff preparing rooms, hope filling spaces once empty. This was partnership. Not the absence of conflict, but the commitment to work through it together. Not perfection, but presence. Not a cage, but a choice they made every single day. To see each other. To choose each other. To build something beautiful from broken pieces. I love you, she whispered. I love you too. He kissed her head. Come on. We have a celebration dinner, and I have something I need to ask you. What? He smiled, mysterious and warm. Patience. You'll see. As they walked out together, hand in hand, Naima felt a completeness she'd never experienced before. She'd crossed an ocean looking for a fresh start. She'd found a home instead. Not in a place, but in a person. And in the partnership they'd built together, through silence and sound, distance and proximity, fear and courage, she'd found herself. The woman who'd arrived in Seoul with 2 suitcases and a locked heart was gone. In her place stood someone stronger, braver, more whole. Someone who'd learned that true love wasn't the absence of struggle, but the commitment to face it together. Someone who'd discovered that the most beautiful things are built not in ease, but in choosing each other through the hardest moments. Someone who knew, bone deep and certain, that she was exactly where she was meant to be. With him. Always with him. Forever choosing partnership over perfection, truth over comfort, and love, messy, complicated, real love over everything else. If you made it to the end of Naima and Dohyun's journey, thank you so much for being here. Please like this video if their story touched your heart. Subscribe for more Afro-Korean romance stories exploring real relationships, not just fairy tales. Comment below, what was your favorite moment? The foyer confrontation? Naima standing up to Park? The clinic opening? What story should I tell next? Forbidden love? Second chance romance? Enemies to lovers? Remember that silence can destroy faster than betrayal. That protection without trust is just control. That true partnership means facing darkness together. You are worthy of being seen, worthy of being chosen, worthy of a love that fights for you, not against you. Until next time, keep believing in second chances, honest communication, and that even the most broken silences can be healed with courage and love. See you in the next video. Heartsuit.